Gameydaddy.
Hello everyone, this is Emmond with Gameydaddy and I'm here with another video from Clancy's The Division. Today I'm here to bring you 8 ways to self-heal without using the first aid or support station. And the reason why this is important is that the skill haste cap is being reduced from 60% to 50% in patch 1.6. Hence, rolling skill haste will be very beneficial. But if you have legacy gear or you plan to diversify your build without sacrificing other stats, you can implement any one of these strategies or a combination of them to proc significant healing or health regeneration without using first aid or even a support station. Now, as a side note, I will not include the rapid chest piece in this video because arguably it's more likely that people will use that with the first aid skill. Now, I'm going to list these methods in random order because I don't want anyone to perceive any preferential treatment, but I'll be sure to list my most preferred method last. The first method is running 2-piece alpha bridge. Now, people do this to gain the 100% health regeneration, and I think this works while you're out of combat. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the aspects that makes Alpha Bridge to stand out as one of the most user-friendly DPS builds in Tom Clancy's The Division. The second method is using the 2-piece or 3-piece nomad in combination with your build. The health on kill that you get from the 2-piece is very good because you can combine that with extra health on kill that you roll on your gear, and also the 3-piece bonus gives you a consistent and constant health regeneration throughout. This is very valuable for a lot of solo players, which makes Nomad exactly the build that it ought to be. I'm so glad they changed Nomad. It used to be the 2-piece was 100% scavenging. Alright, number 3 is self-preserved. When you run self-preserved on your weapon, you get 3% healing for every time that you crit from your weapon. Now, crit chance is coming back to the SMGs, so I can see self-preserved taking a very good role in the next patch. Now, I wish it was more than 3%, but what we have, we're gonna use. The fourth method is using sustained, which is a talent that grants you X amount of health on kill, making it a valuable talent to run. I think on the 256 gear set, gear tier, you get 6% health on kill every time you take down an enemy. Imagine if you paired this weapon with the 2-piece nomad and rolling health on kill on your gear. It makes it absolutely worth it if you're actually speccing to that kind of build. Number 5 is another talent which I like to use more than the other two, and it's predatory. This is very common with skill power builds, and it gives you an X amount of health regeneration, over time after killing a hostile. It's very effective, especially for the tactician builds, and you can roll that on the the bottom and a free talent because it really has a weird requirement, or you can roll it in the middle of a in the second talent or something if you run a high skill, high firearms or moderate firearms build. The sixth method is running the Caduceus talent. This grants healing every time you crit with the Caduceus for you and your team. Now, I think this is going to be a community favorite once the patch rolls out because it really shows that the Caduceus is going to be a really good utility named weapon, or exotic as we're going to call it in the next patch. Now, the seventh method is using the relentless backpack. I'm still yet to try this backpack, but when I mentioned my intent to use it, somebody left a comment telling me that they use it with their shield build and a pistol, and it is so effective. I guess I'm gonna have to try this out because it returns 5% of the damage done by skills as healing for the user. So this is definitely a sweet item to use in your arsenal and to use with any build. And finally, this is my favorite. This is the one that I would recommend anytime, any day, and it's the nimble holster. It's a high end that I've actually come to enjoy in the past few days. After trying my hands on this, I'm very certain that this high-end holster is a force to reckon with. It grants you 2% of your maximum health per every meter cover-to-cover move that you make. The health pool is very large, and for each cover-to-cover move that you make, I mean, with 1, 2, 3 meters, you can move to another health segment and get a regeneration over time. Now, I'm a cover-based purist when I play, and I've been pushing myself to rely less and less on the first aid and others to just enjoy other skill attributes while I run. Now, this holster is definitely my preference, and its use forces you to play differently, but keep in mind that there are 2 talents that support you using cover-to-cover mechanics, and you can use this holster to complement them. And those two talents are the evasive action, which gives you 30% damage buff against incoming damage while you're in cover to cover, or tactical advance, which gives you a percentage damage buff when you're in a cover to cover. So you get a damage resistance and a damage buff while you're using these two talents, and that's very good. Now if you're a solo player, this is something that can work so well for you, because if you move from one aspect of cover to another, you have DPS and you get a damage resilience at the same time. So I feel like solo players are going to enjoy this holster if they decide to use it. So that's my spiel. I appreciate you watching this video. Don't forget to leave a comment or leave comments on how you use these or any of these methods in your builds, or how you even plan to use them in the next patch for your gameplay. If you're yet to subscribe, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Don't hesitate. If you want more videos like this, more Division videos, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for listening and watching. Peace.